Hello, friends. It's Chapo. First of all, they did it as a TV show, like LeBron's, like I'm taking my talents to South Beach, fucking ESPN TV special,
which I didn't know.
Roundly hated by everyone when it happened.
Just like you think anyone cares that much about you fucking nerds sitting around a table.
So yeah, they announced it in a TV special, and I was like, I knew it was going to be pretty harebrained, but I was not expecting any. Like what they literally came up with is our endorsement. The girl reading this. You're perfect.
Yeah. It's great because it's a total microcosm of liberal fecklessness at every level.
It's beautiful.
It's like we are unable to make a clear endorsement because we don't want people to get mad at us. We don't want the wrong, we don't want to get back. So we're just going to do something that is totally ineffectual and has no impact, but at least no one's mad. And that's the best we can hope for.
It's so perfect because the way they justified it is like, do it in our unusual, unorthodox move of endorsing two candidates, which defeats the entire purpose of an endorsement. It splits the vote between, it hurts both Warren and Klobuchar.
Because everybody who loves the New York Times will spend Election Day staring at the page, their brains sparking like a malfunctioning robot.
Sir, you have to leave. The polls are closed. Oh, no! What am I... And then just writes in hits Steyer at the end of it.
Well, I mean, like, the Warren people should be happy, though. I mean, they were going to share the presidency with Sanders, I was told, and now they get to share it with Klobuchar. You got what you wanted,
that
right?
sharing project would not last long.
No,
the palace coup would be on day one.
Yeah, Warren's Scholastic Bowl vibes would crumble under the weight of Amy's bully field hockey player.
No, she would just even if she was the VP, like on a Unity ticket, day one, she burst into the Oval Office like, "Get up, nerd!"
Yeah,
it would be like the was that incident in Nepal where like one member of the royal family killed like 40 of the other ones.
yeah.
But what they're really doing is they were signaling to people, "Look, we know there's two types of Democrats running right now.
Yeah.
And if you like the lefty ones, pick Warren, not Bernie, for the love of God. And if you like the right wing ones, well, I guess we're going to try to remind you about gender.
No, like
we're going to throw a gender card out there.
It was. I thought that they were going to be like our endorsement, the woman voter, and like they basically did that.
Yeah.
And as Matt, as you said, like the way they justified it is they said rather than picking one candidate, we're going to pick the two women that are still in there, and we're going to justify it based on this. Like there are two lanes now. There's the more radical lane, and then there's the moderate. Lane. And like, these two candidates both embody the best of those two traditions or points of view. And like, we're just saying, we're going to leave it up to you. Mm-hmm. Which one do you like?
Go for it. Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Again, so perfect because it maybe kind of helps Klobuchar, but like, okay, it hurts moderates overall because the people who are going to vote for Klobuchar are going to take votes away from Biden and Buttigieg.
Yep.
And it hurts Warren because, the 1,000 or so Pinocchio counters in Manhattan and Virginia, Maryland suburbs are going to just like their votes are going to be split between probably taken away from Warren to Klobuchar.
And also there's just a general vibe of like she was the plan's candidate. She was the candidate who was pitching towards the sort of people who read the New York Times, and she couldn't even manage a full-throated endorsement from them. Like, what does that tell you about her strengths as a candidate? Like that they did not feel comfortable just picking her by herself. They had to have cover.
I do want to say though, how bad did Pete fuck up? Like we saw like a little bit of his fuck ups on camera. Like when they were like, Pete, did you like? They really set it up for him. They're like,
did you do the bread thing?
Yeah, Pete, did you do bread crimes? We know you did. And did you do bread crimes? And he's like, frankly, that's a load of ass, sir. He busted out the swears. He just went rat mode. They were basically like, Pete, we will endorse you if you don't turn into an imp freak and go nuts. And he was like, he like burrowed under the table and started biting their toes. They're like, all right, Pete.
He started chewing through the drywall in the New York Times building.
Pete, please don't go imp mode. And he was already just hunching around the office with a pitchfork and laughing maniacally. He turned into the fucking Noid in front of all those be-ascotted reporters.
All of a sudden, there was lunchtime. The pizza's ruined instantly. He just snapped his fingers.
Oh man.
And I want to. Is there a video of the Klobuchar one? Because I feel like I know how it went.
There is. I didn't watch it.
I haven't
though.
seen any clips of it shared, so it probably wasn't very like.
It was pretty boring. Presumably.
yeah.
They probably cut out like the part where she gets the endorsement.
Yeah.
Where she like the guy with the ass cut, she just fucking pulled him down to the floor and stepped on the back of his head.
And I mean, I bet they probably would have liked to endorse Biden, knowing that might actually have an impact. And
That would have
keep
helped
Bernie
Biden
from the nomination, but he just showed up and was like, "Look, guys, I'm immortal. Okay, you strike me down, I'll rise more powerful than you can imagine." And they're like, "Okay, I guess we can't endorse the guy."
The Biden
Who's
one,
like drinking mercury, like that one Chinese emperor who tried to live forever.
the Biden one was awesome because he was like, Now, see, look, you stand around a lagoon, you're gonna see a monster, and there was just you heard Mario, and he was like, what was that? And they're like, sir, that's your Nintendo Switch that you brought here. Oh yeah,
Here we go.
yeah. He brought.
What in the blazes?
That's the worst thing that can happen to you is being scared by your own phone while trying to get an endorsement for president.
By the way,
and that's literally what happened to him. He was like, what in the jumping Jehoshaphat was that? And they're like, Vice President Biden, that's your phone. He was like, oh.
I know you've been auditioning for this part for a while now on our show, but I do want to give a quick shout out to the E1 episode you did that was all Joe Biden's. It was 3 Joe Bidens. And
Oops, all Biden.
And it was like, I listened to that, and it was like, I was laughing throughout the whole thing, but I don't remember like a single line or anything that was funny because it was like the purest like ASMR experience I've ever had.
I don't remember
and probably
recording
caused me brain damage for sure. Like if you seriously want to like really, really damage your mental health, but like in a pleasant way, I would highly recommend listening to the Joe Biden's episode of episode 1.
Oh yeah.
It was probably the most irresponsible thing I've ever put out in public.
Yeah, that's a Burroughs mind virus if ever there was one.
Well, it's irresponsible in that like if too many people listen to it, I think they will vote for him.
Yeah, probably. It makes him more likable than anything else. But I do. I don't want to spoil too much, but Andrew said that they want to do a 3-hour version.
Oh my god.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, talking about the New York Times dual endorsement, I do want to front load the reading series because it is connected to this. And you remember the other week where I said when the snake emoji thing was happening, I said liberals have all just morphed into Jordan Peterson now,
Yes.
and that they're like, they're talking about,
The evil,
the divine feminine
Yeah.
and the like the chaos in the snake in the garden,
chaos dragon.
chaos dragon
Yeah.
in the garden. Continuing this theme, of course, is Lauren Duca writing in the Independent about the dual endorsement, and I just got to read some of this here. The headline is: in backing Liz Warren and Amy Klobuchar, the New York Times rejected toxic masculinity, as we all should. And then the subhead is: it's not about women or men. It's about a feminine way of approaching politics that politicians of all stripes have shown, including Andrew Yang.
Sure.
So
Why not?
I'm going. Okay, so he goes
The gamers' rights candidate embodies the divine feminine. I got it.
on Tuesday. The New York Times editorial board released an op-ed titled "Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren are Democrats' top choices for president." The unusual choice seemed more an endorsement for women in general than either one of them in particular.
When women are on the ballot, you got to vote yes.
Ladies, we
love the dames.
We love them.
If there was a referendum on women, I would be voting yes, women.
I've chosen to accept this as mainstream media's acknowledgement of the rise of the divine feminine.
Okay. All right. Now it's getting good. The ayahuasca's kicking in.
I've chosen to accept this as mainstream media's acknowledgement of the rise of the divine feminine, which is sacred. Okay, here we go. Gender is, of course, a social construct. The divine feminine is beyond that binary, best understood as the energetic force of nurturing. Plenty of male-identifying individuals are in touch with this force, although women tend to be more likely to find their strength in the divine feminine, in part because of the way society commodifies the stereotypical responsibilities of sitcom motherhood, such as cooking, always being the one to remember when to buy toilet paper, and giving birth.
Yeah, those equivalent activities. buying toilet paper and giving birth.
America, as it stands, is not even pretending to be a free country. We are living in an oligarchy structured by the hierarchy of the white supremacist patriarchy, and this is where toxic masculinity has led us, into the greedy depths of a ruthless individualism that only benefits those at the top.
That sounds like capitalism.
Yeah, that was kind of fire, though.
She goes on to outline, the ways in which toxic masculinity has made it so that 10% of the United States citizens control 76% of the country's wealth.
Yeah, that sounds like capitalism again.
The most important way to see our deep need for the divine feminine is in the shape of our economic and justice systems. American greed is sustained by corruption and enforced by punishment. The United States has allocated about $989 billion on military spending this year. It costs between $31,000 and $68,000 to house an inmate, and yet there is supposedly a reasonable argument at the Democratic primary debates over whether considering healthcare as a human right might be too expensive.
Then that's why I'm
debate-
supporting Amy
Yeah.
Klobuchar.
Yeah.
who says you dogs deserve nothing. Drink
Yeah.
out of toilet bowls.
Yeah, I'd love nothing more than to watch you die in a waiting room, you little rat.
I'm going to buy all the insulin and pour it into the garbage in front of you.
The shift to policies guided by unconditional love for the collective are also on offer from Bernie Sanders and in Andrew Yang's insistence on public policy aimed at developing happiness. I have made it clear that my heart beats for Elizabeth Warren, although I think both Warren and Sanders insist on equitable public power in a way that can further inspire the political awakening moment. For any self-identified Bernie bros reading this, I would note that I would be excited to support either Warren or Sanders in the general election. P.S. Please don't harass me.
Oh, there it is.
That said, I think it makes a difference that the person at the helm of this transformation is a woman, because of the lessons learned by anyone who has a female perspective on our crisis of toxic masculinity. The same could be more exclusively discussed in terms of in this election if the Democratic Party weren't embarrassing themselves with not even a single black or brown candidate on the most recent debate stage.
What do you mean?
We've talked about
the
this.
Party.
It's not the party. It's the voters.
It's the voters.
That are
They're not
embarrassing
giving them
themselves.
money or responding to them in the polls. That's who edited them out of it.
I mean, Joe Biden has said that he's a member of the black community.
And I, for one, well, I really like this because she's basically saying socialism is good, but we need to make it gibberish that is alienating and confusing and meaningless instead of directly addressing people's needs.
Women try to do president all the time, and when women try to buy toilet paper, men say snake. And when men say snake, women no run, and when women are eternity, they are mothers forever. So no, don't be mean. We can have all women.
Wesley Willis over here.
As going on here with that energy, as the daughter of a father.
This owns.
As the nephew of an uncle.
As the nephew of an uncle, as the daughter of a father, I feel compelled to honor the divine masculine.
Thank you. We really appreciate that, Lauren.
Yo, big up to the fellas out there and their divine.
Dudes rock.
Yeah, I am closely in touch with mine. The divine masculine is best understood as an energetic force that is assertive and pragmatic. The divine masculine protects you and gets shit done. Elizabeth Warren has tons of that energy. No, she doesn't. I'm sorry.
She couldn't even get
I'm
a
sorry.
single endorsement from the fucking New York Times.
If we are going to concede that there's this ludicrous gender binary exists in like the light and dark side of the force,
Yeah.
and that you can be on the dark side of the force but have light aspects
Yeah.
or whatever,
Right.
and go on with this, like, I'm sorry, Elizabeth Warren does not exude
No.
or divine masculine energy.
Yeah. Like someone on the sidelines who's just sort of like encouraging you, which is very nice, but is the opposite of actually getting anything done.
The problem with masculinity is when it occurs as its shadow part. This is just Jordan
This is
Peterson.
Jordan
Yeah,
Peterson.
this is
Yeah.
pure
This
Jordan
is
Peterson.
mirror image Jordan Peterson, of course.
And again,
because
like-
he says that the divine feminine must be tamed and
And we all have our sort
kept
of
down.
a Jungian shadow self as well. Yeah. Toxic masculinity looks like this ongoing death rattle of the white supremacist patriarchy clinging to power. And of course, we see the most grotesque manifestation of this sickness in the form of that demonic sweet potato who keeps us on the verge of World War III because he cannot handle his own insecurity, which would be embarrassing if our lives weren't at stake. I think a woman is our best bet at beating that. I think using feminine pronouns for the most powerful person in the world could help correct our overriding tendency towards the toxic masculine. The rugged individualism brought to you by capitalism means we are often moved by the self-interest of greed instead of investing in love for ourselves and therefore the collective. We need a push towards nurturing and caretaking to move our society out of a shared hell defined by precariousness. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
We need to prioritize public health and happiness to building abundance for the majority instead of sending our people into war, debt, and prison so that billionaires can continue to compensate for
Yeah.
something. I agree. In my humble opinion, the divine feminine will continue to rise and ultimately defeat the white supremacist patriarchy no matter what. But it would certainly help the process along if our transformation is led by our first chance at the concept of a Madam President.